Are you having a hard time seeing what's behind your Tesla Model 3 or Y because of a small rear window? Well, Hansel has this new version of the live feed camera for your rear mirror. And what's cool about this is that you can adjust it digitally up and down and without losing the quality, and you can have dual screen for front and rear camera. So this also acts as a dash cam. So not only you have footage from your central mode in case that fail, you have this also capturing the front and rear with a fisheye lens. It's 1080p, but it looks as clear as 4K. To install this, just remove your OEM cover behind your actual OEM mirror, pop open the clip, remove the wire, and pull out the mirror after you unscrew it. So there's another screw behind the mirror once you remove it. You remove that screw and reinsert and store this mirror away safely in case if you want to sell this car in the future, you can put it back to OEM. With the live feed camera, you reinstall the bracket over from the OEM onto the Hansel live feed camera. And then you use the screw to screw it back on, and that essentially is it with the mounting bracket. Very easy to install. You want to remove the cover to run the wires through. So that cover is just held on by 4 clips. Once you run the wires through, this will allow you to fish along the headliner to the back and also to the front camera. Place the cover back and twist on the actual mirror. Make sure you pull the wire fully out with a little tension, and that will minimize any pinching. So you have 3 wires, one to the actual canvas power, and the other goes to the front camera and the rear camera. The front camera just sits right next to your mirror cover. And then to run the rear camera and also the canvas wire to gather power, you want to run it across the actual A-pillar on the right and remove these rubber seal. Then you want to remove the actual L-shaped door seal. There's a clip on the A-pillar. You want to remove that before you pop it open. Just plug it in, and that is how you gain power to the actual mirror. So you see 2 plugs there. The bigger one goes into the more beige color, and then the smaller one goes into the white one. The white one, you use a U-loop, so you actually unplug it and then install the Hansel harness. Plug in the camera wire for the front and the rear. So the front one is the less length compared to the rear because you have to run the wires all the way to the back. From the tailgate, you want to pop open these cover. First, the top cover pops right open. There is no additional clip. For the rear cover, the bottom of the actual tailgate, there's 2 clips. Remove those clips before you pop this trim down. Make sure you don't pull it all the way down. There is a plug that you need to remove. And then go ahead and unscrew this piece here in the center of the actual tailgate. And you want to remove the actual back piece where the spoiler used to be. So make sure you use all the screws and tools that you unbolt and save it because you'll be needing that to reinstall it back later. Remove these 2 plastic trim on the corner of the tailgate, and these are just hex screws. Again, there's 2 on each side and 2 trim in total. This is what holds down the actual back lift piece of the tailgate. And then pry it open slightly. Again, this is actually a metal material, so be gentle with the prying. And it pops right open and slide it back. And that is how you remove that back piece. Now you have access to the actual compartment, internal compartment, where you will be unscrewing these 4 hex screws to remove the top trim. And that is where you will be mounting the camera right where the light bar is, right next to the actual rear camera, the OEM camera. So that will be the best location to install it because it's right in the middle. And you will be able to hide the wires and fish it through very easily because that is exactly where Tesla installed their camera. So this is where you will have the same view from the live rear camera as well as on your display. Go ahead and reinstall the 4 screw that you just removed and fish through the wires. So the rear camera does come with a adapter, so you don't have to fish the whole wire through, only that tail end of the wires from the camera and then connect it to the long extension wire that you were fishing through the side of the vehicle. So again, zip tie it down if you need to, but it should go through that grommet fairly easily. Now plug in to the extension wire, and again, zip tie everything to other OEM wires as you see feasible. And then run it down along the actual right side of the tailgate. And again, zip tie everything down. You do have to fish it through the second grommet here. This one requires the fishing tool. So what you want to do first is run the wire through and then push it through the grommet. Now you can use the fish tool to tape it at the end of the wire and then pull it through the other side. That could be another way, but there's plenty of space in this grommet to pull through without the fish wire as well. So again, be careful when you're pulling this through, and if there's any tension, likely caught up with some OEM wires, so you want to pull it back and then redo it. And that is how you fish it through to the actual C-pillar on the rear right passenger door. Again, to fish wires, you want to tape the fishing wire to the actual wire itself. Make sure any of the connection part of the wire does not get tangled up, and then slowly slide it through. If you have any issue here, a little Vaseline will help it through. Now, to hide a wire, the best spot is to put it between the headliner and the actual frame underneath the rubber seal. So the rubber seal on the Tesla vehicle is very easy to remove and reinstall. There's no glue, and once you have it through, pull it through the B pillar. There's plenty of space between there, and again, between the headliner and the actual frame itself, and then go ahead and place the rubber seal along, keeping the wire in place. For the A pillar portion, you will have to fish that through around the actual airbag curtains. So you want to fish it over, not under. And that is it. Go ahead and plug that into the camera itself and also the live rear mirror. And both cameras should be functioning. So this automatically turns off when you leave the vehicle. You can manually turn it off as well with the switch on the display. It is a touch screen and it is a door screen. You can have it both on at the same time, or just the front or the rear. It has a micro SD, unlimited storage. Also, it acts as a mirror. Put everything back, including the door sills, carpet lining, and plastic trim on the side of the dash. Now go ahead and place back the rubber seal, wipe everything down, and go back and put back that tail on the tailgate. And then there's a few screws on the other side that you need to screw back on. Remember, these screws are the original ones that you removed earlier. And again, very easy to install. Takes less than 60 minutes with all the tools available. And now go ahead and place back that plastic cover, tighten it up, Most of these screws and nuts are 10 millimeter, 15 torque bits, or 20 or 25. Put back the actual side trim to hold down and anchor down the actual lift gate. Again, these are all the same screws that were removed earlier. You're just putting it all back. Plug back the wire to the actual tailgate cover. Push in the tailgate cover on the lower part. Push back the 2 push pin. And these are the 2 clips you removed earlier. And then now the final piece, the top piece of the tailgate. Start from the top and then work your way around the L shape. This is a 1-person installation. Product description is in the description of this video. If you're interested, it's available for purchase. This is for the Juniper. We also have it for the 3 Highland and the non-Highland and non-Jupiter. Thanks for watching. Catch you all next time.